Hi. How'd it go? They did what? You did? I can't take any credit for that. I'm just so proud of you. You know, this is what life looks like when you're tapped into your authenticity and equally aligned with your intuition. Remember, Mom always taught us to trust our guts. You're listening to Hey Big Sister with me, Meg. There's a different way to run your life and your business. One that allows you to truly connect with people on a human level. No more icky sales, no more comparisonitis, just you taking mindful, intentional, messy action to create success that you can be proud of. Let this episode be your guide. For the next few minutes, open your mind to new possibilities. And don't forget to pour me a little grace. I'm just like you, except I picked up the mic and started talking about all the things that go on in both of our heads. If this episode hits home for you, it would mean the world to me to have you leave the podcast a 5-star rating and written review. Also, could you do me a favor and text the link to this episode onto 3 of your best friends? You know, I'm a real human behind this mic, and I actually want to connect with you. Click the show notes below to connect with me on social media. I would love if you sent me a DM with your takeaway from this episode. You are family now. Here we go. I feel like this is a exciting topic because it brings out a lot of feeling in many people. So the topic that I wanted to talk about today is creating ease in both life and business. And when people hear that, I think it feels like a really soft landing in your body, like, oh yes, ease. I want more of that in my life. Or it kind of feels like, oh, how dare they? Who thinks that they can fit ease into their life when I have to hustle? So no matter what side of the coin you fall on, I would love for you to stick around today and listen to this week's episode, because ease is something that I have intentionally tried to create more of in my life for the last at least probably 5 years. And also, this is going to be the controversial thing, I think, because people are really moving away from hustle culture, right? We're moving away from that constant hustle. And here's what I want to say about that. It is that sometimes I like a good hustle. I like to really push my edges on how much I can get done, how creative I am, just being really productive. Like sometimes that actually is enjoyable and healing to me. So I bring that up and I say that to just say that there is no right or wrong in all of this. We can make space for the conversations around the toxicity in hustle culture, right? Like always needing to hustle, like having to live your life in that hustle mentality all the time, always striving, always doing more. And also, we can talk about how sometimes it's really, really important and it's really gives us a lot of momentum, moves our businesses forward, moves our goals forward. So I think that there is that duality. Once again, I think duality is one of my most favorite concepts to speak on and really embrace, because there is no black and white in this. Like, you can say that hustle culture is toxic, and you could also say hustle culture has really led you to some of the most meaningful, successful, etc. places. So you can have ease no matter what season you're in. Even if you feel like you are hustling a lot, or you are in a super productive or super busy, overextended place, like you can still create some ease in your life and business. And let's talk a little bit about like what ease means to me. To me, ease is creating a life and business that feels like there is not a ton of resistance. Like it feels like a breath of fresh air. It feels like a lightness in my chest. It feels like things are, for the most part, enjoyable. It feels like things just happen when I start like setting the ball in motion. It doesn't take a lot of hard work. And I'm not like somebody who doesn't like to do a lot of hard work. I feel like I have really embraced that over the years and in my life. But I feel like at this stage in my life, almost entering my 40th year on the earth as a mom of 3, and a wife and a friend and a sister, I want things to be relatively easy. We have set up our personal life in a way that it keeps our stress fairly low because we have very high needs in our family. So the more ease that we can create by saying no to things that don't light us up, or saying no to things that just feel too restrictive in our calendar, or saying no to things that are going to cause like a lot of our family members stress, that helps us stay in the energy of ease. We have really, really practiced being mindful of how much like social activity our family can take. We're really mindful of setting boundaries around like different activities or different trips we might say yes or no to. And that has created an ease in our life because our schedule is much less filled than I would say the average like American family. We don't do many sports or after school activities. We don't say yes to a lot of like group activities or trips or anything like that because that's just super stressful for some of our family members. So because we have kind of created that standard, we have ease in making decisions because we don't feel the pressure to add more to our schedule because we know what really works for us now. And in terms of my business and job, I have created a lot of ease in my schedule. And one practical way that I have done that is by designating certain days of the week for certain activities in my workflow. So Mondays are my CEO day, and that is a day where I take care of a lot of the back end of my business. I always have a workout with my trainer. Shout out to Gina. I do a lot of, like, if I do my newsletter writing, I do content creation on Mondays. The things that don't take me outside of kind of myself, my own creativity or my own business. So I'm not actively like working with clients on Mondays. Then Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday are my client forward days. And those are the times where I have appointments, I see my clients, I have my Zoom meetings, I even have meetings with partnerships, teach courses, and such. And then on Fridays, I keep open for just me as a person. At this current moment, I am teaching a class on 4 Fridays, and that is the only time that I have like scheduled anything on Fridays in over a year for work, because I had found that for a while I was seeing so many clients, and then I didn't have any time to do things when the kids weren't around. So like, errands, things like that, or just things for me. So I really kept that on my schedule and as kind of a placeholder for taking care of myself. And that in turn also creates more ease because my cup is more full. I don't have to run around doing errands with all 3 of my children. And I just feel, fairly relaxed going into our weekends. So that is what my schedule looks like right now. That is not to say that like things can't change and ebb and flow. And I have been feeling like I have to be a little bit more structured around more content creation on Fridays, which that is something that I really enjoy doing and does feel really good to me. It doesn't really feel like work or effortful. So that is that does still feel easy at times. So I'm kind of playing with adding that into my schedule. But I like to share that because that is something that has created a lot of ease in my life and business, because I know that when the weekend ends, that I'm going to have Monday to take care of all the things that I need to tie up. So even I put in a lot of those activities, like setting up IEP meetings, paperwork, some of the catching up for work in my volunteer opportunities. I still count those as my CEO, like tasks, get them done. I have the space on Mondays, and that's really helpful going into the week, then knowing that like I can check some things off my to-do list, and have a space for it on my calendar. So that is my like secret to my schedule. Obviously that doesn't work for everybody, and but it is something to look at. Like, how can you kind of batch your days, so going into the week you have this kind of vision of when things are going to get done, and it starts to give a rhythm to your lifestyle, which to me is that in that spirit of ease. It feels like you know what to expect, and it feels like it's kind of like when like everything has its place. So to get more and more organized, I feel like I'm going to start solidifying like a day where I just do my podcast, and so that's the direction that I am moving in, but haven't gotten there yet, which is okay too, because right now it feels like the podcast is more of like a hustle. Like I have to hustle to get it done, because I have not gotten into a really good rhythm yet. It's a new thing in my schedule. It's a new creative outlet. It's a learning process. So just being gentle with yourself at those times where you're adding something new in is really important, because I think that these conversations that happen in the collective of like create more ease and like stay away from hustle, they're really good because they get us aware of things that could be holding us back or creating like strife and stress in our lives. But then they can also be a little bit harsh sometimes too. They can make us feel bad about not getting things right, or feeling like we're not doing business or life right. So that's why I like to remind us all that like it's a learning process, and it's what is easy to you and toxic hustle to somebody else is very, very different. There are people that want to and really enjoy hustling all the time. They want to work until 10 p.m. at night, and they might really, really like that. There might be somebody else that does that because they're trying to numb, or they're trying to like not hide, but like they're trying to like fill a void somehow. And then there's other people that just like want nothing to do with that. So there's all different scenarios that can happen. What it takes is like the self-awareness to look and say, do I require more downtime, or do I really enjoy moving at this pace? And something that I know about myself and my family is that we require a lot of downtime. And I am somebody that's really like social and active, but I need breaks. I need a lot of quiet after some of those busy seasons or sessions or interactions. And it's my responsibility to plan that into my schedule. And when I do that, then life feels a little bit more easy, because I'm not feeling like I'm pulled in so many directions. So that learning came over the years. It came, after having children, and especially a child with special needs, and having to like really set boundaries on like what I learned about him and like what he could tolerate. And then it's so wild, and it's like such a gift in this life, because it gave me the gift to see like, oh wow, I'm allowed to do this for myself too. And then look at how it just makes things so much easier, because I don't feel so stressed. I don't feel so overstimulated. I don't feel so burnt out, whatever it might be. So just take the time to look at what you are saying yes to in both business and life, and asking like, what can I let go of, or what is not serving me right now, and how can I set up my schedule, my life, my choices in a way that really bolsters me, that really makes me feel energetic, that really makes me feel like I'm being cared for. And when we do that, I think then life, like even if it looks busy, quote unquote busy to somebody on the outside, it feels easy because you're making it from that really self-aware and attuned place. And if you're making choices from that place, like I just don't think you can go wrong then. Everything is a learning opportunity, but it's not wrong. It is where you can trust that like you are in that place at that time for a very specific reason and lesson and whatever it might be. So I think that this is a conversation that is really powerful. And I think when we have it with more and more women, we see that people are just looking to gain permission. And I say that very loosely because I don't mean that any of us we don't need permission, but we have put these expectations on ourselves that if life is easy, that means we're not doing enough. And if our schedule is not packed to the brim, then we are not doing enough. So I think having this conversation around like just desiring more ease or more downtime in your schedule, in your day-to-day, in your calendar, having that discussion with other women kind of like opens up this like portal of freedom of like, oh, wait, we can make this choice. And I have just seen it happen time and time again with just having this conversation with different friends. And because once another woman says like, oh no, we don't say yes to X, Y, and Z, it kind of frees us from that like automatic thinking that we do, like, oh, everybody's family is doing this, so we just have to do it, or everybody's business is doing this, so we just have to do it. And it gets us to this place of thinking differently and saying, oh, wait, I get to make the choice, right? We get to make the choice. Like, is this what feels really, really good for us or not? So that I leave you with today. And I would love to hear more about how you create ease in your schedule or your business or your life. And I would love to hear if you are trying to create more ease. Like you hear this topic and you're like, how do I do it? I would love to hear from you. So you can reach out to me on social media and we can talk more, because this is something that I feel really excited and passionate about, and really just like supportive, because no one can tell you exactly how to do it for yourself, but we can cheer you on and we can support you and we can give you different ideas on how we do it in our lives. So that's it from me for this week. I hope that you are having a great week and you're just feeling really, really joyful and filled with ease in whatever season you are in. And if you're not, I would love to support you. So I hope that you have a great day, and I will see you on the podcast soon. Before you go, do me a favor and leave a 5-star rating and written review. The more we connect, the more the world is connected. As I love to say to all of my groups and my clients, rising tides lift all boats. See you next week.